Homework number 6. So we have our dangling or misplaced modifier. Flying in the airplane, the clouds look like fluffy plumes of cotton. When you have the sentence this way, it's actually two different sentences. It doesn't make sense to make it as one sentence. So in order to make it a sentence, we have to put, oh wait, I'm way up there. Not sure why it's doing that. Okay. Wait, guys, I misspelled that. I'm going to take that off. We're going to zoom in a little because it needs to be bigger. And we're going to put line. Okay, so now we have flying in the airplane. We thought the clouds looked like fluffy plumes of cotton. This, by adding we thought, sorry, let me correct this over here. That is an S at the end of that. Woo, sorry guys. Flying in the airplane, we thought the clouds looked like fluffy plumes of cotton. This keeps us in the sentence. It makes it become, the purpose of the comma is now a real reason to keep it there. It creates it into one sentence. So that's the answer to number 1. Okay, now I'm going to delete that. Identify the connotations of the word below. This could mean anything for me personally. I got modest, I would say, that's probably positive. It could be neutral. Don't get me wrong, it could be neutral. Shy, I see that as a negative, but that's because of my own life experiences. Mousy, I also see that as negative. If anybody says mousy, it's not usually a good thing, but you know, it's based on your personal experiences. So as long as you put in this part here, the minus, plus, or the dot. Remember, minus is negative, plus is positive, and the dot is neutral. So that's up to you. Okay, for number 3, the detective spent hours upon hours examining every scrap of evidence and information that might indicate Jeremy had stolen the jewelry, but they were unable to glean any information that would cast doubt in his story where he was during the robbery. Glean means what? Well, if you were to look and say, but they were unable to glean any information, that tells us that means get any information. So the answer to this would be to gather little by little. So take pieces, because it's a mystery, right? And they're trying to solve it, and they're detectives. So we're going to put to gather so they're talking about the information in the sentence. Glean means to gather it little bits by little bits. Okay, number 4. Choose the synonym for the word proficient. Now, for proficient, that means, remember when you get a number 4 on your paper or you get a 3, you are proficient, which means what? The closest word below is going to be accomplished. Whee! Whoa, I just crossed it out. Let's delete that. And we're gonna do some highlighter action in yellow. And there we go, accomplished. Okay, if we were to break up the word, Hypothermia. What would be the prefix? Okay, so we're going to enlarge this. Prefix would be hypo. Oh, let me make that. Let's change it blue. And the base root part of it would be therm. And the suffix would be, and then when you're writing it, because it's part of the word and it's not an actual word in itself, you can put a little dash there. So you have hypotherm, and same with the hypo, guys, but you would, because it's not actually a word here, you would put like a little dash. And the dash just tells you that the hypo goes in the front, the therm's in the middle, and then the dash in the front of it means that it's at the end of the word. So when you're writing it out, that's what it actually means. Okay, simplify the sentence by eliminating the wordiness and redundancies. For this one, I am going to do red, and we're going to cross out the stuff that we don't need. So, my great-grandmother came to America as an uneducated immigrant from Mexico who had never attended school. So in their version of this, they put, let's put it here. Move this up a little bit. Oh, let me delete that. Sorry, guys. Delete. Whoops. Whoa, how did that even happen? Oh my gosh. Okay, let me erase that. Let me make this a little bit smaller. My apologies, guys. I don't even know what that is. Okay, let's try this again. I'm gonna move this up just a tad. There we go. My great-grandmother was okay. My great-grandmother was uneducated when she immigrated from Mexico to America. Guys, just so you know, this is capitalized. I wasn't trying to disrespect the word Mexico. Okay, my great-grandmother, so instead of having all of this, was uneducated immigrant from Mexico who had never attended school. Because we know right here that she's uneducated, we don't actually need because she didn't attend school. Because if she wasn't educated, then she didn't go to school. That's the same thing. It means exactly the same thing. So that's how you get rid of it. You have to move some of the words around. You have to make it a little bit different, but it's actually the same thing. Okay, we're going to move on. Circle the misspelled word and write it correctly below. So for this one, which one is this misspelled word? Let's do that. The misspelled word is nuisance. Okay, nuisance. It is actually spelled N. So that means that there's an extra S in there that does not belong. Okay, next. Underline and identify the part of speech. Remember, you guys have to remember that you need to underline, because if you're not underlining it, then you're not doing what the directions say to. So, we should have been arrested, but he was only given a slap on the wrist. Over here, a slap on the wrist, that would be the figure of speech. They are not physically slapping him on the wrist. And what kind of figure of speech is it? It is an idiom. There we go. Okay, and what does it mean? Not what does idiom mean, but they're asking what does the figure of speech mean? And it means his punishment was, small. He didn't have a huge punishment. It was very small. It could have been bigger, and it was just kind of a warning. Okay? So, is the following a phrase or a clause? If it's a phrase, indicate. If it's independent or independent. Let's see. What was our answer? I knew what happened. This is an independent clause. So I'm going to write that here. No, I got my pen all weird. Independent clause. Okay. And that's that for the first page. I'm going to clear that. Okay, I'm going to do a part 2 for the next page, and we'll continue there.